is working. 1, 2. 1, 2. Alrighty, so then we'll go ahead and get started. Wanted to just say thank you again for joining us here on Twitter. My name is EJ with the EverReflect team. We've had a pretty exciting couple of weeks, so I'm going to run over a couple of things that we are currently in the process of doing that have been set up over the last week and a half or so. So one of those first aspects that we've been talking about has been kind of phase one with the EverReflect NFT beta ticket testing. I've shared it in the links on Telegram. We'll also share this on Twitter after this, but two of the locations the tickets are getting minted right now that I've already brought up are the Gilmore Car Museum and then the 80s Festival that's taking place in Frankenmuth, Michigan. We have also assigned an agreement that we will be doing some tickets for the Bay City Rib Fest, but that will not be taking place till later this summer. So we will not be beta testing those tickets. We'll actually be doing real EverReflect NFT tickets, at least for their VIPs, but we might be doing it for more attendees actually than they're considering actually allowing all ticketing for that Rib Fest to be our NFT tickets, which would be pretty crazy and actually pretty cool. So we'd also offer an option because of the QR codes with something like that. Hypothetically, say they do 2,000 tickets, we'd also offer an option where there's an email. A lot of people aren't going to necessarily understand the concept of an NFT in an app or in a wallet. So we'll make sure that we have that option for them as well to just redeem it via a PDF or a QR code on their phone. But the establishments for those three are in place. So the announcements that we've had for today are pretty cool because this will be kind of entering into phase two of what we're going to be doing with these beta testing. And that's actually partnership alliances with some specific artists. Now, the three, I think a lot of people are pretty aware I'm a pretty big country music fan. So with that being said, I have reached out to some of the partners that I've worked with before. They're regional. They're not the largest artists, so that's why it's ideal for us to start these partnerships with them now. They're open to reaching their fans more direct because their fan base isn't necessarily as big, but they do have great followings. They are pretty well known in the Nashville scene. One of those first ones who I spoke with today is a good buddy of mine named John. So I'll post that in Telegram on John King Country. There will also be a very beautiful woman named Carrie Holmes, who is also just a solid friend. Have worked with her at a number of festivals. So posting that in Telegram right now as well. And then the third will be another country band by the name of the Family Tradition Band. And these guys have actually gotten to be pretty well known here in the region for Michigan in the Midwest, have opened up some pretty major shows. And they are excited as well. So the process with working with the bands will be like this, the same thing. We're still going to beta test the same exact way that we've been doing with the there you go, Chris. I invited you to co-host. The same concept, the beta testing the tickets that will end up minting them into NFTs, and then people will be able to redeem them at their events. The nice part about working directly with some artists is that they obviously have a larger number of shows. So you can actually look at their lineup of what they have coming. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger. And we're going to work out the schedule for John, Carrie, and the Family Tradition Band of what tickets we'll beta test. The nice part about this is this will give the opportunity for some other people that want to potentially redeem our NFT tickets at a larger span, because they will be anywhere from Michigan down to Nashville, into the Chicago regions, Indiana, Ohio. So those are pretty awesome alliances. It'll also afford us the opportunity that if we end up wanting to do, I think if people have looked at the white paper, um, one of the things that I have projected later on was to do something that's music festival related. I want to do sponsorships with these festivals specifically. Obviously, you want to reach the epitome and get up to the Coachellas and the Lollapaloozas and such. But we're going to start this out smaller because obviously we're smaller. So the concepts of doing smaller music festivals or the other concept of doing just our own festival, because of the fact that I book these concerts and I book these guys every year, as is already. We could actually do a one-off night, rent out a venue, do it all as NFT tickets. I understand that maybe not everybody's going to be a fan of country music, but we could do this with multiple genres because we also have some rap artists and hip hop artists that are in the fold that are a part of the EverReflect family. Same thing with like alternative music. So this opens up the concept of us just doing our own in-house events that are EverReflect branded. And music's an easy conduit for that, just because I've worked in it for so long that booking a show and booking a venue would be just a nice stepping stone, but that'll be something that's coming later. As far as those alliances, that'll be phase 2. If there's still anybody that's interested that's in that Midwest region, or specifically Michigan, reach out to me or reach out to one of our admins specifically, potentially Sailor or Drabo or any of those guys, potentially Noodles. Let them know that, hey, I'm in that area. I would like to redeem one of these EverReflect NFT tickets. It'll be free of charge. So you will be considered one of our attendees under the focus group. We'll just end up asking you to take some photos, take some video, show the process. Honestly, the process is very similar. So you guys, if you've bought it, I bought some tickets randomly enough, actually, today for my buddy to go see Ancient Aliens live in Dayton, I believe it is, Ohio, or Toledo, Ohio. Same thing. You buy the tickets on Ticketmaster. They get sent to your wallet. You put them in your Apple wallet, or they send them to your email. So this will be the same process where you can redeem these from your phone. And we're doing that specifically. Like, we wanted to take something that was easy adoption, and the adoption process for a lot of these people will be easy, but the benefits are going to be in the future of what an NFT means as far as security, what it means as far as metadata, and some of the other aspects that we'll be able to do with those NFT tickets after the fact. So with that being said, Chris, if you'd like.
Hey, can I ask you a question, actually?
Yeah, for sure.
So that one festival that you're talking about, like that, they said, hey, maybe we could just go ahead and do all these tickets NFT style. Was their event already going to be digital only?
They haven't. So this is interesting because they asked me to be on the board of directors for this event. It's a reboot. So there was a Rib Fest that was successful for like 20 years, and it closed down about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. So they're redoing the whole thing. So they have a large auto dealership named Labadee that's going to end up being the title sponsor. In years past, I think they had attendees in like the 10,000 range. So because it's a reboot, and because I'm on the board, there's basically the option to do everything fresh. The nice part of what we're seeing in Michigan is that a lot of the ticketing is all digital currently. That a lot of the festivals, because they wanted to go touchless for the last 2 years for our governor to allow these events to take place, had to be in essence digital or touchless for scanning. Not all of them did that. Some of them still obviously did wristbands and the such, but it's a big aspect of what we're seeing in the state already.
Well, no, and you're absolutely right. I kind of up because that's a good portion of the reason why we focus so strongly on our entertainment and experiences. It's just because over the last 2 years during the pandemic, so much changed, and certain things just aren't going to go back. Right. And for multiple reasons. A lot of it's just for like brass tacks economic reasons. Once like a restaurant chain that doesn't have to print as nearly as many menus as they used to have to, because so many people are just using the digital menu. Why would they ever go back to printing. So
Yep.
and same thing with like tickets and everything else. Once you know you can facilitate it all digitally and cut out so much of that bottom cost dollar that really is like the actual cost of your business is paper and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a big change.
Yeah. And the good part,
Yeah,
like you said,
much
is
bullish on it.
and like that kind of aspect of attending events now, that it's logical for you to go to an event and have to have it on your phone and just scan a QR code versus, and I understand that there's still some people that are very ardent and very passionate about having the hard tickets. So, for this, especially for the remainder of 2022, as we print these tickets, you're going to have multiple options of how to redeem. And we're doing that for different age demographics are more adaptive to certain technologies. And that's not to be rude by any means. It's just that some people still fax versus some people like to email versus some people like to text versus some people are cool with video chats versus some people will only meet you face to face and shake your hand. So to accommodate that, we want to make sure that we have the NFT tickets portion, that we'll have the QR code portion. You'll still be able to have a redeemable portion of it, as long as the venue approves, right? Because the security is the biggest factor of this long term, coupled with the concept of a royalty that the original ticket seller can end up receiving it with the secondary market resale of a ticket. But it's going to take some adoption. It's going to take some people getting into the understanding of the technology, that you're not going to be able to just jump right in day one and completely understand all of the benefits of doing this as an NFT. It's kind of the same thing with these artists. Like, I had phone calls with all three of them today. They like the idea, and they're still trying to get the concept of what is an NFT. So, like, literally, I spent an hour and a half with Carrie on the phone with Carrie today, because she knows that she wants it. She knows that for her fans, that it's something that people are kind of getting hyped up about, because you see the term NFT thrown around a lot in social media and a lot on the news. But for her, she still has to kind of get her mind around, like, okay, so what can we do for a special line of Carrie Holmes NFTs, sell them just directly to her fans that are separate from the ticket, or potentially that they purchase the ticket and then you receive an additional autographed NFT by Carrie. They love these ideas, and that, and then when I was texting you earlier today, Chris, about the idea of all these artists want virtual lounges, because if it's another way for them to connect with their fans in a much smoother social setting, offers some additional incentives as far as the way that interaction can go down. So many of them are open to these ideas of the virtual space as well. So yeah, it's going really
well. And I'm a big, I know we've talked about this before. I'm a big believer. Like, if you really want to get down to the brass tacks on like why the Chevy Volt didn't sell very well, or like the Yaris, the other electric options out there, Elon Musk hit the nail on the head. You got to make it sexy, you got to make it cool, and you got to make it user friendly. Just the better option.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a firm believer that, like, while, yeah, at first, there's certain demographics that are going to be hard to, on board, per se, certain technologies. But once you've got something out that's, like, clearly just the better option,
Yeah.
and artists for better, as well as, like, the actual venues and producers,
Yep.
and the consumer, everybody across the board enjoys it better than the old experience, and then it becomes the new standard. And that's
Right.
You've got.
Right, and you're spot on. Like I said earlier today, I bought tickets on the Ticketmaster app for my best friend, and it's the process is still good, but there's still some hiccups with the search. There's always hiccups with the number of click throughs. There's hiccups with like the option of being able to connect it to your different Apple wallets, things of that nature. So, we've said this from the beginning, that my experience of 21 years is in the entertainment field. I have a passion for crypto and I've been around it since 2017. However, my strength lies in the entertainment space. That entertainment space includes a lot of ticketing platforms, a lot of connections in the ticketing world. And then as we keep building these relationships, we're bringing in more, I guess you could say, knowledgeable experts in the ticketing platform aspect, because we want to build something that basically event planners have used. So if I've used RegFox and I've used Eventbrite and I've used Ticketmaster, which I have used all of those and I have accounts for all of those, we're going to build it that it's user friendly for the person purchasing, but also user friendly for the festival director or planner or artist. Coupled that just with the concept of a tax built in that'll be EverReflect related, that'll go straight into the chart, but still be able to pay out those festival directors or those venues with fiat, because this will have to be a cross between the two. Because at the end of the day, if somebody sells 1,000 tickets or if they sell 100,000 tickets, they're not going to want to be paid in cryptocurrency. But we want to make sure that for the EverReflect token holders, and for it being the utility token, that the tax on top is what's going to end up affecting basically our chart. Will go into the liquidity pool, and then those tokens will be burnt, and we'll have the option to be able to keep those as burns, or we can look at it down the road that if we're burning too much in the circulating supply, that we can basically end up turning that on or adjusting those taxes. With that also being said, there are a number of other experts that we've met through this space, similar to Chris and other good devs, that understand contracts and understand minting and are already building platforms to accommodate this, because the team is growing. And that's the only way that you can really, one, scale this, because that's going to be the biggest, that's the biggest X factor, right? Because it's not so much, hey, can you do 3 artists and can you do 3 festivals? Can you do 100? Or in the case of, say, an Eventbrite or of a Ticketmaster, can you do thousands? And that's how this has to be scaled. And we're building it in a manner so that it can be scaled out in that process, accommodate hundreds and thousands of tickets, because that's the level that we're going for. That we don't want this to just be Midwest region, because that's where our team's located. We want this to be global, but we also want this to be something that multiple venues, multiple event planners, multiple artists, and then multiple patrons that want to attend the event can all use through a very simple app that's a ticketing app, aka a crypto wallet. So, were there any other questions about that, about this concept of the beta phase 1 with the venues and the festivals, phase 2 dealing with these artists, or did you have anything else you wanted to add in, Chris?
I just wanted to say, like, for everyone that's here listening to this right now, you gotta love the way this man talks about this stuff. I talk to him all the time, and you can just tell I now understand what my community says to me when they're like, Chris, we love hearing you geek out about that VR stuff. Because this is the equivalent of geeking out about VR stuff. You geek out about ticketing in a way that just informs the listener. Hey, he knows what he's talking about, and he's going to get this done. I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to happen, and it's going to happen faster than people think it is, and it's going to catch. This is a fantastic idea that's easily done, and the better format than what's currently available on the market across the board.
Right. And it goes back to a couple of things. MDLF, I'll let you ask a question as well right after this comment. But it goes back to, this has been my career for 21 years. So these alliances are colleagues, right? They're business colleagues, and I've worked with them for a number of years, but they're friends. So me presenting them with something is no different than if over the years I presented them with the option of going to certain conventions, or that they should try out certain marketing tools, whether it be a constant contact or a community app, or that they should try this strategy with their YouTube ads. Like, this is coming from a standpoint of, this is still my everyday career in life, and I will only present this to my work colleagues, in essence, unless if it's basically set up in a manner that they can really utilize it and they can gain traction, but they can also gain revenue, and they can also utilize something that will benefit us as EverReflect holders, but it will also benefit them because the process will become better. Like, before this all started a couple years ago, I actually had a small business called Chicago Party Bus, and we ended up just renting out buses so that we could take people to concerts from downtown Chicago out to the amphitheaters. And it was basically to avoid people that would have to get behind the wheel if they were going to these concerts. And then we'd take them on buses, and we'd do 4 or 5 buses, and we'd bring them back. And it was just to streamline the process. Like, there wasn't necessarily this massive like brilliance of ideas. It was a massive, okay, this is something that the market can be improved upon. How do you improve upon it? And that's exactly what we're planning on doing with EverReflect. So I don't know where MDLF. I think that you're a listener again. John, I'll also bring you up on to speak. And then MDLF, if you still had a question, you can answer as well. John, you're good to unmute.
I've got the Apple delay going on there, so it
yes, I'm here.
Triggered and went right to you talking to let me speak. So a question on your like, say I'm going to see a concert, and it's kind of what you hit on earlier. I guess I'm just trying to get a little bit better understanding on it. And oh, hey Jay, hey Chris, everybody, by the way. Like, say I'm going to see Family Tradition. So what you're basically saying is, hey, get a hold of me. You know, you got tickets to go see Family Tradition or Carrie Holmes, you know, one of the ones that you just said. I've got tickets to go see him, and I get on your Telegram, Twitter, whatever, and I get a hold of someone in the team, and I say, hey, I'm going to go see him. What do I need to do? You know, I guess you guys will prompt with instructions. Say we go see a concert. We'll see. You'll send an NFT, and then you'll say, can you take these videos of walking into the venue and this during? Just basically verify that we've got an actual ticket for it, and then we send you some pictures, photos, stuff like that, and then afterwards you send an NFT. Is that how that works?
No. So the way it would work is, actually, if you want to sign up and be a part of the focus group, you let us know which artists you're interested in seeing. We will release the dates of the tickets that we're going to be, now that they're all 3 are confirmed, of the tickets that we will have basically in our NFT inventory that we can give out to our focus group attendees that are within that, the EverReflect community. You'd let us know what dates that you wanted to go to, what's the location. We will send you the NFTs. To start, this is going to be coming into one of your wallets. So it'll have to be an NFT wallet that can obviously show them. NFTs view and Trust Wallet pretty well. So theoretically, we'll probably just recommend, for ease of use, everybody just use Trust Wallet to start. You can view the NFT ticket in your Trust Wallet, and then yes, we will. Not only will we pay for you to attend the event, then we'll throw you an extra like 50 BUSD so that you guys can go buy snacks or whatever you want to do. And the requirements for a focus group are that there will be a couple of things that are required. And one of those would be a short video. One of those would be a number of photos. And then you would have to then post those onto social media. So you would either have to post those onto Twitter, you would have to post those into our Telegram, post those onto Discord, things of that nature. Most likely, we're going to want you to go for the big social media platforms that can get more views. So even though we haven't pretty much like set in stone that it has to be Twitter, it's going to be something like Twitter or Facebook, so that you can tag EverReflect, you can tag the concept of the NFT ticket, and then show your experience. Because that's the beauty of this, is that you're basically showing that you're attending an event that other people would be excited about attending, but you're doing it with an NFT ticket. The NFT ticket isn't any other, there's no other additional struggle to check in, because they're just going to be scanning your ticket or scanning your QR code based on the current process that they have in place, but you're going to be doing it with an NFT. And Right. It doesn't seem that difficult because it's not. We just want people to get the concept that they can do it this way.
Can I also add on two things real quick? Another small requirement is that you'll have to be an EverReflect holder at the time of like the ticket being airdropped to you, and the ticket itself is going to be a BEP20 NFT, so it will be able to be held in your Trust wallet. If you go to your Trust wallet and you click on NFTs, it'll say ETH only send Ethereum here. Just ignore that. That's just like an old. That's just something that they have to put there because but all the contracts are still the ERC 721 contracts. It'll all work the same.
Right.
But you will have to hold EverReflect in your wallet in order to qualify for the focus group.
Yep, correct.
Okay, so I guess adding to what Chris just said, like I hold EverReflect, I own EverReflect, but every EverReflect that I own is staked.
Yep.
So a screenshot of the staked EverReflect, would that suffice in that circumstance?
We'll be able.
You can easily confirm whether or not it's staked or not from the BEP20 address. So
if you give Chris or I your wallet, we're going to know what you've been doing with that wallet.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Not to creep you out, John, but we know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've talked to both of you on several occasions. More so EJ than Chris, and we're getting to know Chris a little bit better every time we get to meet up with him, and love talking to Chris. So yeah, man, that answered my question. I'm definitely on board. I'm close to you, so
yep.
If I can go see a show for free just by taking pictures and videos that I normally would take when I go see a show, and just posting them and tagging EverReflect and even the artist. I mean, that will get more artists on board, right?
Right, exactly. And actually, one of the ones that Carrie's opening up for, I think, is in Indiana. That's the. Granted, this is country because these are a lot of the artists I've worked with, but Sawyer Brown's the headliner. So it's going to be the same thing. It'll be a Sawyer Brown, Carrie Holmes concert, but it'll be an NFT ticket. So
well, we got to talk.
yeah. So, but this will be it's going to be twofold. One, it gets utilization out there and adoption, and people will understand. Okay, this is being held in basically a wallet, and I can just redeem my ticket in the wallet. But then, secondly, it's a nice incentive to the community as far as, all right, these guys are actually out there interacting in the event space that is much, much different than being on social media or within a chat or looking at a computer screen all day. So it's like being completely active in a live event space that so many people are hungering for because it's been shut down so much for the last couple of years. But the same thing with the artists, that the artists are so hungry. We plan this so that, like I do from every year, that the correlation of when EverReflect came out corresponds with the Midwest specifically, because I know the region of the event season being announced and then concerts being announced and everything unfolding for the summer, so that we could basically line this up with the most entertainment that'll be taking place in the region and the people that I know specifically, and then can expand upon that.
Well, I will definitely be a guinea pig. Thanks for answering the question.
Cool.
It was very thorough. As always, you guys are doing a great job. Appreciate it, and I'll let you get on to the next person.
Yeah, and I'll definitely hit you up soon too about John's with Metabolic, and there's been some ongoing conversations about some stuff that we want to do with the current crises and everything that's going on, and that'll be something that we're actually. So this kind of leads in really quick, a spinoff. The 5 trillion tokens that are coming up for this Thursday, I'm confirming it with the board and the admins tonight, but we're going to put it up for another community vote. The community vote hasn't been solidified exactly yet, but it'll be something along the lines of either burn, again, obviously, stake potentially, or the third option that we might consider is donating those 5 trillion EverReflect tokens, but not donate them specifically to a wallet that would work for the like a wallet holder for like the current crisis going on in Ukraine. Do something where we lock the tokens, still receive the BUSD reflections. Those BUSD reflections then all go to charity, something along those lines. So I'll let you guys know later tonight the process and the votes that'll be coming up for those 5 trillion. And sorry, MDLF, you were up as well.
Yes, thanks, EJ. I love what you guys are doing. I just had a quick question. I know the primal focus is on the music industry at the moment. However, does EverReflect plan to expand in the acting field as well? You know, local cinemas and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, there's the one of the locations that we're beta testing is the Gilmore Car Museum, which is the largest classic car museum in the country, and it's located in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Just so happens that the director is one of my good friends, and they gave us the green light to beta test with NFT tickets to a venue like that. So that, and then also the Michigan Heroes Museum, which is in Frankenmuth. So those are kind of conduits that are in the destination location space. And I kind of consider cinema, movie theaters, things of that nature, all destination locations as well, because you're still buying tickets, but the tickets are probably not going to be the kind that you're gonna scalp, right? It's just going to be a standard $12, $15, $20 ticket, somewhere in that range. But yes, the platform will be built in a manner that can accommodate any type of ticketing. So as long as it basically has I'm sure that there would probably be a minimum face value of a ticket that we couldn't do anything less than probably, $4 or $3 to be able to make it financially feasible for anybody. But if you're selling $3 tickets, then I might as well give them away for free, So, but yes, we will have the ability to accommodate destinations, locations, and that opens up the. Chris and I have talked about this too. Water parks, theme parks, anything along those lines.
I have some friends that are well connected here in Jacksonville. So, after the beta test, I assume just let me know, and I can definitely spread the word to them so that we can all talk and see how we can get that going.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
To bridge off of what EJ was saying, from like a technical perspective, you have a lot more data that's tied into an NFT. So it's weighted differently than like tokens are. So when you have to pay that weight cost through gas. So there's going to be a hard cost value behind the actual mint itself. So when it comes to like your standard 1-day experience for some things, you might not like necessarily suggest, hey, this is definitely a good fit economically for an NFT ticket system. Like, for instance, a theme park. There's a lot of theme parks where a single ticket might only be $15 or $20. You may or may not have a lot of traction just selling NFT tickets that way. But the season pass for that theme park is $50 or $60, and you have to keep it for a year. Well, yeah, that's a great fit for an NFT ticket. And it's all about just navigating that space and making sure that everybody is, winning economically and easy to use.
Right. So because of the fact that we're building this out with the concept of basically me, an event planner that does ticketing all the time, you want to make sure, and that we also have influences that are outside of just my personal network that are in the entertainment field, other event directors, other festival planners, a whole slew of people that are kind of giving us insights on the back, and people from the ticketing industry that I've just worked with that are just good colleagues about those hard costs, because that's going to be the other factor. And I don't know if Lunar's in here because he actually has a lot of background in the ticketing space as well. And you understand that there's hard costs that are built into all of these platforms, with whether it's maintenance, whether it's just the generating of the QR codes, whether it's just the sending it out via even PDFs as is now. There will have to be a fixed cost that's associated with every base ticket, just because that's the way that the current industry works and behaves and performs. And like anything, there's going to be needs for upgrades. There's going to be needs for, and Chris can speak to this better because he understands blockchains and everything better than I do, but scaling. whether that takes terabytes of servers or whether that takes, additional nodes, the whole concept of scaling this is what we're doing now, because there's no sense in building something that can only be scaled to 1,000 tickets. Like, scale this thing out so it can be tens of thousands of tickets from the beginning.
Yeah, that's actually something that's really interesting and unique for this exact process. So if any of you guys in this chat are big NFT fans, then you know how slow the process actually works with running through the entire mint series on some of the Ethereum lines. That's literally processing power and transaction speed. So you do have some type of bottleneck somewhere. So being able to continue to produce additional mint engines and a processing ability across nodes is something that, like EJ said, we are already in the process of working out logistically, how you would continue to scale this across not just, US, but the entire world. And being able to process a lot of flow through rates, because there's certain events where maybe we will be tied into the box office itself, and you're flowing through tens of thousands of people in a very short period of time, and you're verifying all of that through your contract still.
Yep, exactly. And that's, it's any good business model that you have to end up doing this stuff in advance. That there's no sense in building this without the idea of scaling it, because if we can only accommodate Kalamazoo, Michigan, it doesn't do us enough good. We need to be able to accommodate Louisville and Jacksonville and California and the whole bit. So, Louis, you are now free to speak as well and ask any question. Can you unmute yourself there, brother?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
All right, cool. So something interesting that I was thinking about, since I'm in the East, close to the New York City area and stuff. There's a couple groups, there's a group in Facebook that is called Awesome Events New York City. So basically they do basically everything that is related to any type of event, like parties and yachts and anything like a tour in the city and things like that. It would be cool to get something like that, to be involved in this, what we're doing,
Right, for sure. That's the beauty of this, right? That and this isn't something that I'm trying to be arrogant about, but I'm going to be a little arrogant about this. This is one of those few projects that people that are holding the token now, or say you used to hold the token and you made some profits, and now you're just watching from the outskirts and you're thinking about maybe getting back in. This has real community development and interaction potential, because that once we're basically operating, and whether or not you even register your own tickets or you set us up with alliances for other locations that want to end up utilizing these NFT ticketing systems, it's real community interaction. Because now you're not only even, you might have a great idea of an amusement park or a tour or a festival or whatever. Those are great because they're inspired because it's in your region. It's something that you would potentially go and do anyways, and then you can see it in real life. And that's why I'm saying this is arrogant, and it's not to be, because I love so many other projects. I love other tokens. I say it all the time. Help people to get trust wallets and get MetaMask and have them trade a token, any utility token that has solid teams, solid founders, and solid direction. But we're one of the very very few that you will be able to actually use this in real life. It doesn't matter if you're here in this Twitter space, or if you're on Telegram, or if you like Pancake Swap versus PooCoin. If you want to take your girl and you wanted to go to a year-long amusement park and get you guys passes, she's not going to even have any knowledge that it's crypto related. You're going to go because of the fact that you want to go to that event. It's real world experience that you don't have to necessarily be in the crypto space. You have to just want to have an experience. And I say it all the time that I think that a better investment on life is not buying material assets. I think a better use of your funds or whatever you do in life is to have the experience, because experiences technically make you, from a mental health standpoint, happier than if you're just to upgrade your 70-inch TV to a 90-inch TV. An experience has memories, and it has other aspects of just solid mental health that will come with that, because you can't relive, buying the TV over and over, but you can go back to photos, you can go back to videos, or if you like the experience enough, you could go again. You could go to another concert. You could go back to the theme park. You could go back. And experiences are critical. And you can hear, obviously, that's why I'm passionate about it and why I've worked in this industry for a couple of decades, because the aspects of an experience are unlike anything else that you can get.
Well, and to add to what you're saying, I think a major point that you should definitely hit on is through this process, it's so easy to add to the experience. Like Mr. Lewis was talking, he's in New York, so there's a lot of unique things going on in New York. And imagine having an NFT that only gives you step one of the puzzle. You need to go to this spot, and as soon as you get to that spot, you can verify the NFT, and it automatically airdrops you the second one. It gives you the second clue to the party that you're waiting to get to. And you can follow that trail. And like, that's an experience that can get put out by anybody, sponsored through EverReflect through that NFT system. Something else I want to base on real quick. So easy to do. Imagine having a sports event, like a fight, and there's two guys fighting. Your tickets to that fight, you can pay an additional $10 for that ticket. Now that ticket becomes stakeable. So whenever you go to the fight, or whenever before you get to the fight, there's a window of staking period that allows you to stake it in one pool or the other, this guy or this guy. And you stake it into that pool. That adds everybody's additional $10 value into that pool. And at the end of the fight, whoever's the winner, the other pool gets burnt, and all that value gets transferred to them, and they can pull out.
Yep.
Yeah. Doing that automated is just like an additional option that becomes available as soon as the ticketing is adopted, and as soon as people are using the NFT tickets. You have the world is your oyster.
Yeah, there's, and obviously everybody here is somewhat knowledgeable in the crypto space, because you don't find and spend this much time in an AMA or a Twitter space unless you're somewhat down the rabbit hole. And we know that this technology, especially blockchain technology, will be something that's it's not going anywhere, for one, and two, people are going to only get more and more creative of what you can do with the space. And that's why I'm so thankful that we have Chris basically on the team and that he's so involved with this project, because those concepts of the metadata and virtual reality lounges and all the other just mind-blowing things that can be done in the future are going to be incorporated as well. And that's what gets a lot of the artists and a lot of the festival planners and even the venues excited, because it's not happening in a way that is easy for them to basically bite it off, chew it, and understand, oh, okay, we can do this for our festival, we can do this for our event, I can do this as an artist. We're trying to make it simple. I've said from October and November, this is a simple project with a lot of potential and a lot of work that has to go into it. All you need to do is go and look at a Live Nation or Ticketmaster website and buy a ticket and realize, okay, this isn't just, this isn't something that you can just plug and play. There isn't just a WordPress plugin for this. It has to be built correctly. But the concept, people in the real world can bite hold of and really get it. So were there any other questions? One thing really quick. So we had a promotion. I'll tweet this out again, and it'll be in our Telegram and all of ours. I have a cell phone number that people can text EJ. We were doing a promotion of 50 billion EVRF. We'll just go with the last 30 people. Let's do that have texted me. So Chris, I'll let you pick a number 1 to 30.
17.
17. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Sweet. So I will text this person right now. Looks like I don't want to announce who you are, but you won the 50 billion EVRF. So text me back whoever I just sent that to. He goes by BP are the initials, but it is not our BP. He's not on the board. The board of director BP did not win the 50 billion, but another gentleman did just win 50 billion EVRF. So you can text me back to that number. We're going to start another promotion with the text EJ that I'll be posting here shortly. This will be for another Morales Academy scholarship. So anybody that's interested in blockchain and you want to take the beginning classes, Morales is a wonderful, wonderful resources. Those guys have been great partners with us as far as letting us basically buy their packages at a discounted rate so that we can offer these scholarships. And it'll be the year-long membership to their academy. So we'll start that promotion tonight. It will involve, you can either message why you want to learn blockchain development, and it'll be on Twitter that you can message that, or you'll be able to text me as well. So both of those promotions will run until Thursday. And then, like I said, the board of directors and everybody, we're going to start another vote in Telegram on how we should accommodate those 5 trillion tokens. That was the beauty of us just taking 100 trillion tokens at the start of this entire project, locking 5 trillion for every Thursday to be released, because they are not the dev team's tokens. They are not anybody's tokens specifically. They are everybody's tokens. They're the community tokens. And we want to do those things that, because life changes, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, we didn't even know Russia-Ukraine would be an issue, nor could we have projected when we launched on January 20th, like, oh, hey, mid-March, we're going to want to potentially unlock 5 trillion tokens. For something that could be a humanitarian effort, and we could just give those rewards back to a cause of the community's choosing. Same thing with the staking, so this is really, I think everybody is seeing that the foundation of this has been integrity and transparency from day one. Are we going to get it all right? Hell no. We're never going to get it all right. But I will promise you this, that we're going to fail cheap and we're going to fail quick, and we're going to make sure that we test everything, because if you've been watching my actions over the last couple of weeks, the reason that we ended up doing so many things as smoothly as we really have is because we've tested it and our team tests it, and we want to break stuff and we want to make sure we're breaking stuff cheap. And that's what we will end up doing with these NFT tickets. That's why we're doing the beta testing. That's why we're not trying to over promise and under deliver. We're still sticking to the BSC chart in the second quarter. We're still sticking to this platform third quarter. Why? To make realistic expectations. Let's be honest. We're working on it now, so the deliverables will most likely be well in advance. But we're not promising that to everybody, because we don't want to set up expectations that people get upset because you promised this utility and you thought that the platform would be here because it's March 7th. We won't do that to the community. That's not how I've done business. That's why in some cases, festivals or events take 18 months to plan. Like, this is still one of those, we're strategic. It's going to be logical, strategic steps. Every step of the way, everything will be tested. Will there still be errors? Of course there will still be errors, but at least we'll have an idea of why the errors are taking place and how to fix them and how to accommodate them well in advance, well before people put their hard-earned BNB or fiat or whatever, Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. Before they actually put it into the system, we want to make sure that this platform is safe and tested and that people are getting the experience. And then just the residual effects of that they know that long-term this can be trusted. And that, going back to the 5 trillion tokens, that's a part of this whole process of, how many times do you see a team that just says, hey, we're going to just keep 100 trillion tokens around but consistently, week after week, we're going to prove to you guys we're doing what you want, what the community wants with those tokens. Whether it's staking, we'll do it. Whether it's burning, we'll do it. In this case, potentially for something for a humanitarian effort, we will do it because they're not our tokens. But I think that my character's starting to come through, the team's character, my family, everybody's characters are starting to come through, that we're consistent. We're going to make sure that we do everything to the best of our ability and hold as true to our word as possible. And, you know, every day in and day out, that's why we're constantly working on this stuff. We're working behind the scenes for all of the holders. Maybe we're not necessarily on the socials or me personally in them as often, but I can guarantee you it's because I'm having phone calls with other venues or artists or devs, or in the case of like Chris, how much time I end up eating up of his life being on the phone with me, asking questions and just trying to develop this process and project to the best of our ability. So with that being said,
real quick before I gotta hop out of here, before I do, I want to plug our roundtable this Wednesday. Me and EJ will both be sitting down with Nobility, EFS Mafia, Rhematic, and we'll be joined by Crypto Atlas and Generation Crypto. It's going to be an awesome event. If you guys are in here now, definitely try to stop by and check it out. It'll be on YouTube. I'm sure EJ will provide links.
Yeah, we will for sure. And that's another thing that we haven't even spoken about. And I know that we've already gone almost an hour, so I'll wrap this up in the next few minutes. But the concepts of men like Chris and John and all the other ones, Rick, Dirty Mike, Noodles, people that are on our team about the Unite DeFi or Unify DeFi, it doesn't matter which one, because both projects have the same alliance in the concept of taking solid, legit projects that have good utility, that have good use case, and then working together as an alliance to be able to build the space. And then, you know, hopefully expand that to whether it be in centralized exchanges, whether it be on swaps, whether it just be a unified front at a convention. All those things build the stability of every token and every project and everybody that's holding. The other aspect of that is one of the things that we ended up have had conversations with are with a lot of the guys from Nobility, and the things that they're doing are incredible. I mean, we haven't even delved into esports or esports arenas or live gaming events. Like, that is all additional stuff that creative minds put together with passion, going back to what Chris talks about a lot. Like, you can hear it in my voice, I'm passionate about events, but people that are passionate about their projects weren't here for a launch. They weren't here for some BNB. And I don't care what the project is. Find a project that has a team that you're passionate about the same things, whether it's gaming, whether it's esports, whether it's NFTs, whether it's entertainment like what we're doing. Find people that are passionate, that have that same passion as you. Support them. Support those teams. Support those projects. And more so than just going into Telegram and supporting and on Discord, everybody can do that because we know each other. Take this to the rest of the world. Help people to get new trust wallets. Help people to get new MetaMask wallets. Do the steps, because we all know it's a long process for people to understand BSC. My request for everybody, and that's not just my community, it's all of these communities, show new people how to get wallets and how to trade tokens on BSC. That's how we expand this space. That's how we get new people excited.
EJ, that goes beyond BSC though. That's ETH, that's Matic, right. That's a lot of everything DeFi. Everything DeFi, yes, it's the same concept, whether it's Uniswap, Pancake Swap,
right,
Sushi Swap, all of them. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Let's just expand knowledge of cryptocurrency.
Right. And the power of the blockchain and the power of what people, creative, smart, inspired people can build on this platform. Like, I do not think it is even remotely crazy to say that this transition, even though it might not have the direct impact that the internet did, this will affect so many things for our children and the future of business and the future of commerce and supply chain. Everything will be blockchain. And so it doesn't matter what project you support. but show new people that you're excited about this project. You're supporting this team. You love what they're doing. You think that they're great people. Invite them in. And that is my encouragement for anybody that's in the space. And, you know, we try to preach that all the time, the education and spreading basically the passion that people have about developing blockchain utilities. And with that, if there's no other questions, so I did message BP. You won the 50 billion. We will have that next promotion for blockchain development. Anybody that wants to learn Moralis and receive one of these year-long scholarships, we're going to keep pushing them out every week. We get that some people will probably take advantage of it. Some people won't. But if you're passionate about wanting to learn this stuff, it's a great starting place. It's a good stepping stone to be able to get in. The classes, especially the early classes, are not that intimidating. So if you have a few minutes, just shoot out a message, either text EJ or we'll set up the promotion so that you can also tweet it out and just let us know why you'd like to learn blockchain. Obviously, it's only going to be whatever, 140 characters, so it won't be like an essay like I required the first guys to end up doing. But very interested to see the feedback and what people feel about wanting to learn blockchain. So with that, it looks like it's been just under an hour. There's no other questions. I appreciate you guys so much for your time. Our next AMA will be this coming Thursday, and that vote will be coming out in regards to what we'll do with those 5 trillion tokens and the Moralis scholarships. And once again, you guys are just the best. I mean, I appreciate you guys taking the time to busy days, no matter where you're at in the world, no matter what's going on with your life, to just sit in here and listen to our team and what we're trying to do, what we're trying to build, and what we will produce. Because like Chris said, it's happening. And I'm excited to, you know, see these people be able to take these tickets and go out and actually experience them. So we do have one last question. So I'll add you as a speaker. A7 Mo S, you are allowed to speak.
Yo, AJ,
What's up,
Afitos here, man.
What's up? What's up, man?
Nice AMA, bro. I enjoyed it really,
Hey,
you know.
Good. Well, good.
Thanks,
I mean,
thanks, man. I'm always here. You know.
thank you.
Great.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, and I always have to keep a list of things that I want to cover, because obviously I'll just keep talking. So I appreciate you guys' time. Honestly, an hour of your life, you know, when you have friends, family, pets, whatever else you could be doing, that you're spending it here listening to me and our team. I'm humbled and I'm grateful for it. So thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. Well, with that, all of my friends, we are going to sign off, and I will end this AMA. It has been recorded. We will upload it to YouTube, and that should be up on YouTube within, hopefully in another couple hours. So with that being said, you guys all have a wonderful night. Appreciate you supporting EverReflect and our NFT ticketing and what we're doing to build this for the future of entertainment. So you guys have a great night. Bye now.